If you want to write online but find yourself stuck with questions like who am I writing to, what am I writing about, and how on earth am I going to stand out from the crowd, this video will get you unstuck immediately. I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs across a range of niches and expertise levels grow their business by writing online. And in this video, I share a client interview of someone that has been blocked for years and wrestling with the same problems that you are. I help them get unstuck within 10 minutes and it will do the same thing for you.
My question is, I get what you're saying about polarizing and about what people say who are in your industry, but the thing I've tended to do is kind of not necessarily polarizing people in my industry. Like, I talk a lot about how people go and want to have a template or a format, miracle format or a strategy, and it will help their business. But if they haven't got the foundations, like the belief system underneath that, and that's the work I do, the strategies aren't going to work, the templates aren't going to work. They may work for like a day or two, but then they'll self-sabotage or have the self-doubt come in and do that. So are you saying that I should just keep talking about that, like, and as you said, like bang on the drum and repeat that in like kind of like different ways? But I'm not kind of saying things about my industry, because I'm not saying about other coaches. I'm talking about like strategists and people that are saying like, you need my strategy because it will cure everything, but it doesn't if you haven't got the belief system underneath sorted. And I often do like sort of like posts about, you know, when you build a house, you know, you don't build it on the sand, you build it on firm foundation, and this is what you need to do with your business. You know, you need to have the beliefs first, and then strategies are great. You know, I'm all for strategies and for formats and, you know, and having a system, but if you haven't got that belief system underneath, those strategies are not going to work.
Okay. And the way that you've just said that to me, what makes you think that isn't challenging the advice in your industry?
Well, it's not like challenging other like coaches that talk about belief systems. It's more challenging coaches and business coaches and strategists that say, you know, this strategy will solve everything, because it won't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand now.
It's other coaches, but not necessarily coaches that do the mindset work. It's the ones that are doing the strategy and stuff, you know.
Yeah. So you would find that it's still in the industry, like as in generally, you know, we've got people that are looking for the quick hack stuff and they're not who you want. And that's what that message is doing. It's like, I'm ready to do the foundational work.
Yeah.
I think well, at least people that are semi-self-aware and not going down that route, and that's who you're working with.
Yeah.
But then you, like you're saying, okay, so now I'm here and I want to do the foundations, right? Foundations before the frameworks. And I have Brooke and I have 5 other people telling me how to do a belief system. What I then have within there is there a message in the way that you do things that might be different from how other people do the belief side of things?
Yeah.
Essentially. I don't know, is that? Would you think? Or
yeah, I mean, a lot of people who do belief system follow certain modalities, but I do to a degree, but I also use my intuition and do it very bespokely to the individual person. I don't have I don't have a structure like, okay, well, if we're going to have 6 sessions, session 1 is overwhelmed, session 2 is bound. I don't do it in that kind of way, because I will find out how the client's doing and what's their issue at that moment, and we will work through that.
Yeah. So that's a great example. So for example, with my one-on-one program, I have the same promise where I'm like, look, you can go and join a cohort, or you can go and join a group coaching program and then slap on a boilerplate strategy, and then you're going to try and make that fit. My program is all about you. It's about your goals. It's about the way you want to do it. I spend time getting to know you, and we build the plan based on that. And so, you know, it's okay, you're ready to do the foundational work, but like, you don't want to just end up with the same problem, right? It's like a template of your beliefs now.
Yeah, because a lot of people come to me thinking they've got X belief, but actually I work a lot deeper and find out the actual root belief, which has nothing to do with often with the one that they've come to me with, but because I don't have a certain, okay, well, we're going to follow these steps because you follow them certain steps, it's not going to get always to the root of the problem.
Yeah. So something that jumped out at me there is most coaches are following steps and they are superficial, and you end up fixing like the surface level problem, which is like trying to put out fires without going to the source of it. And with my work, we have, and you'd have like, for example, actually, when we did the deeper why thing and the deeper why mining exercise is kind of one example. You'd have your own framework where it's like, we spend time getting to your core truths, the core beliefs. And that work is what makes me different, because when you get down to the foundations, you can build in a much healthier direction. And so you could go with someone that doesn't do that, and you're going to wonder why the results suck in 3 to 6 months when you built the wrong thing again. Or you can come sit down and in 2 months' time, you're going to be like, wow, I know precisely what I need to build along those lines.
Yeah, because I have done posts as well where I've said, I celebrate when my clients cry, because I know that we're getting to the things that really matter.
Yep.
Whereas some people wouldn't, I've had coaches say, you shouldn't really post that. It's a bit negative. People aren't going to want to come to your session if you know they're going to make you cry. Mm-hmm. But, I talk about it, the fact that you're crying is you're releasing stuff that needs to be released, and crying is just one way of doing that. So I don't know many coaches who talk sort of like, I'm glad that I've done it as like a hook. I'm glad my clients cry, or I'm glad I make my clients cry.
Yeah, and I guess within there, there's a good message about how like entrepreneurship is over stoified. You're told to sort of not feel pain and not feel the emotion, but actually the clarity comes when you explore the wounds.
Because I'm quite honest and often say in my post, going on a healing journey and sorting out your beliefs is not a walk in the park.
No, it's not. I know.
But a lot of people, there's not many people actually, which is giving me an idea, not many people are actually talking about that side of it. They'll talk, I'll help you to do this, and I'll help you to get from A to B. But they don't talk about, I often use the analogy of like, my work is a bit like when you make a cake, you've got everything boxed into these little compartments that are quite safe, like your sugar, your milk, whatever. And then it gets messy in the middle where you mix it all together and it looks a right mess. But then eventually when you've baked the cake, you've got this glorious end result sort of thing. So
yeah. So there's definitely polarization within the polarization.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then the other side of it, just from like a business perspective, because what we're talking about is when people are solution aware. I know that there are ways I can build my business, and you need to show why your solution is different. So you've also got just talking about mechanisms is the other side. So mechanisms aren't that polarizing, but they are something like a coined term, coined frameworks, etc. And I'll be probably on like the final week or final 2 weeks, I've got like a bonus lesson on that, just to help people come up with some big ideas. So, yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, one mechanism that jumped out at me there, by the way, was just foundations over frameworks. Just like that nice tone. Yeah. You rock away. I won't need to. But yeah, so just like the wrapper.
Yeah, that is basically what I do. Is I'm not saying frameworks don't work, because I've got processes and strategies but mine work because I've done the belief underneath. I've built the foundation and something solid, because I'm not self-sabotaging or self-doubting myself, because I've done that work.
Yeah, great.
Cool, brilliant. Lots to write about. Thank you.
Good. No problem.